Good morning on this live. I'm really happy that I'm here today. I think that I'm going to tell you a lot of interesting things about energy. And when we are a Monday morning in the middle of the week, starting the week, you just want to make sure that you have the right energy to start your week, right? Because if you don't have the energy, probably you won't be doing really a lot of interesting things this week. And I just want to take a little bit, like 15 minutes, to focus on your energy. Why is that? Because, first of all, if you don't have the ability of taking that energy up and lifting it up, you might not understand why you don't have the results that you want in your business. And so I'm talking mainly to business owners and entrepreneurs. I'm Dominique. I'm a 10x performance coach, and the word performance, 10 times 10 times more, is even more important. So if I don't have energy, obviously I'm not able to coach in the right way to my people. And that's what I want to do about or talk about today. So energy is something everybody knows. It gives you stimulation. It gives you good vibes. It attracts a lot of good things as well. But at the same time, if your energy is at a level where it's down, where you lose basically a lot of results in what you do every day, you might question yourself, where does that come from? Why is it that my energy is not like at the level where I actually want to have it? And I've tried to think about that a little bit more to try to understand why some people have more energy and why others don't. And the difference there is basically because you don't have clarity. And in my life, previous life, let's say, when I was a marketeer in international organizations, I had quite a bit of energy, but not at the level where I have it today. And I'm much older now. And I realized that the energy that I have today, it's because I know exactly what I want. I can decide on the things that I want to do. I can make decisions for my own. And I don't always have to take into consideration what others want from me. And that makes to me a big difference. But to get there, you have to go through through a certain process, because it's not coming from one day to the other. So what I actually realized is that when I have energy, it gives me clarity. It gives me creativity. It allows me to be more motivated. And if you have that feeling as well, and you have, you can put it in the chat, or ask your question in the chat if you have any. But the clarity to me really made a big, big difference. And those that know me, they know that I talk a lot about this, because I realized in my life, at least, that by not having that clarity, those goals, it was really hard for me to move on to something. And your energy is mixing that, it's actually a mix of clarity and what you do with your life. So when I realized that my energy was, let's put it this way. I have clients that come to me and that say, I don't have a strategy. I don't have clarity. I don't really know in what direction I want to go. I have a feeling. I know what I want to do sometimes, but it's not clear enough, or it's in the chaos. It's overwhelmed. There are things that are not always as clear as what I want to. And then they start to work hard, really hard, to get to what they want. And working hard is not giving you energy. Working hard is actually not helping you to get to your strategy. So strategy is not always the most important thing. And I actually call my energy my biggest asset. It's actually my capital. It's my wealth. It's everything that I have. Because as soon as I have this and I can move on, I move forward. It's actually a few of the 13 rules of success. I'm actually giving a live webinar again on the 24th of November at 5 p.m. European time. But I expose the 13 rules of success. And one of those rules is your energy. And your energy comes from moving forward, which is the second rule of success. What I mean by that is that when your energy is low, you cannot be consistent on the things that you do. When your energy is high, not only you will get creativity, but you will also get into a consistency because you're motivated. Okay, so we're saying, you know this, it's not something I'm inventing and telling you today, but you know that when you do a lot of sport, people that do a lot of sport, obviously they have a lot of energy. Why is that? It's because they are active, they're moving, they're doing something with their body and their mind. And that helps to get that energy. If you're looking for energy without doing any of that, then you need to have something else that is motivating you to help you to put yourself forward and to move forward. You know, when I'm doing those lives every Monday morning at 8:30, and you probably have noticed that the first few seconds of the start of my life are not full of energy. And I felt it as well this morning. I was like, damn it. Why is that? Why did I not jump into it and immediately have the high energy? It's very simple. It's because when I start something that I have to talk about, I obviously need to be well prepared, first of all. But on the other hand, I need a little bit of time to get into that little peak of energy. And that's fine. And that's like that as well in your regular life. When you start your day and you start your day with low energy, because a lot of that is mindset as well. You get up and you start to think already about all the different things that will come across your day and your to-do list and maybe the people that you need to meet that you don't want to meet. There's a lot of things that might happen in your mind before that even you start your day. So I do this a totally different way. I actually start my day by being energetic. I do this with the Bastrika breathing exercise. I do this 3 times 30 counts, and I do this very fast. And I breathe only through the nose and I exhale through the nose. I don't do this with the mouth. And by doing this very often and very fast, you actually get already a certain circulation of your blood that gets to you, or that gives you the energy, and that goes to your head as well. And then I do a few exercises. It can be yoga, it can be cardio, it can be exercises for my, I don't know, my shoulders, my knees. But I am in the movement already before that I even start my day. And so when I think about the people that struggling because they don't have this energy, it's very often because they're not committed to realize something in their life, or they're not committed to continue doing the things that they need to do on a regular basis. And I have found that building my energy only came when I started to have habits that were there on a daily basis. And I know some people are saying, I had somebody telling me in a post when I wrote this, oh God, you're living like in the army, you know, you're having to do tuck, 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 all those things every day. I just want to live my life freely. And I agree, I live my life freely as well, because I can do whatever I want. But by doing those habits every day, it has helped me to get consistency, and the consistency has helped me to move forward. And by moving forward, I get motivation. And then again, the motivation is giving me productivity, and the productivity is giving me actually good results. And that is what I want to tell you. It's not about, I need to go outside and run a mile or even the marathon or whatever. Obviously, that's going to give you great energy as well. And so those that have that as a goal, that's great. It's not mine, but it can be for anybody else. But I do have my consistencies, my habits that I put in every day. So let me go you through 5 reasons or 5 things that actually people need to do to stay consistent and to keep their energy high. And if you go through those, choose just one to start with and see if you can already do something with that. Once that you are in the move of that and you are making it a habit, then move on to the second one, and then the third, the fourth, the fifth. But put them down, write them down now so that you don't forget about them. Take notes, because I'm going to give you those 5 now, and they are really, really crucial. I have noticed it in my experience that those 5 have given me at least that great energy. And honestly, I'm 57. I'm a single mom. I can tell you there is a lot of shit coming in my life as well. I've learned a lot about those things into what I'm doing today. But nevertheless, I'm just going to give you another example. Yesterday, I had the intention of going to my parents. I went for a swim in the morning, and the rest of my 3 or 4 hours that I had, I wanted to work on my website because I'm launching a new website in a few weeks, and I had to finalize a few email funnels, which in the end I didn't realize to do because my son broke his phone. He needed to get my attention. He needed to find a new one quickly because he's in school the whole week without, you know, he's living at school as well. So I'm not with him. And he feels like if he doesn't have his phone, the world collapses. And I realized that today, if you don't have a phone, you cannot get in touch with people. You cannot look at your calendar. You cannot do those things. It's a bit of a pain. So we spent quite a bit of time looking for a phone, making him realize as well what the cost is of those things, so that he's not just thinking that I need to do like this, and then he gets his phone. But anyway, it took me quite a bit of energy and time, which changed the flow of my day in a way. But why I'm saying that is because although we went through this, I still had a lot of energy. I started the day with the motivation that I wanted to do something good of my day. I had a call with somebody in Uganda with whom I'm investing, and I'm doing a small little business with this person. I went to my parents. I made a spaghetti sauce. I did a cake. I When I was at my parents' house, I took the time to obviously sit down with my parents and have a quick and nice talk. After that, I had to drive my son to about an hour away from my parents to his cot, like we say in Dutch. It's his student house. Then I had to drive another 45 minutes, which my daughter did because she's teaching to drive now, to her boarding school. And so as a single mom, honestly, I need a lot of energy. So here we go. The 5 things that you need to do to stay consistent and to have that high energy. The first one, have self-empathy. It's very simple, and still a lot of people don't do this. The self-empathy starts, your success can only start if you have self-empathy. And it's only when you start to realize what you need and what is good for you that you will be able to move forward and to get yourself in the place where you want to be. But you have to listen to yourself first. There are days that when I only slept 6 hours, that I still start the day with a lot of energy, and that I have a little dip in the afternoon. You know what? I put everything aside and I take 5 to 10 minutes to sit in the couch and have a little nap. And that's just enough for me to get into my energy again. Don't push it through. Don't ignore listening to yourself. Look at what you need. You have to get to know yourself very well to be self-empathic. Because if you don't know what you need, if you don't listen to your body, if you don't do those things, you might just not understand and recognize what you need at that time. So self-empathy is really important. And if you know how to do that, get somebody to help you to do this. And that's what I do in my coaching as well. And when I have the one-on-one coaching, I start to question, and I start to try to think with you what it is that you need. The second one is what I said earlier, is those routines and those rhythms. Just take simple things that might help you to get consistent, but take something that you can do every single day. Like I said, I start my day with my exercises. I start with my day with writing down my goals to have that clarity. And I write as well down the things that are important to me, like what I'm thankful for. That is a habit that I have every day. Another habit that I have every day is that I take a cold shower. You would think she's crazy, even in the winter, because then the water is really cold. No, you know what? I look forward to that, because that cold water is giving me a kick, and it's giving me that energy. And I don't know, I realize that in the evening when I write down my goals as well, I have in my book that I made myself, the diary that I made, in which I write all those things. Actually, if you want one like that, you can put diary. It's 10 euros, so it's not very expensive. And it's 60 days, because you need 60 days to create a new habit. I have emojis on the bottom, and those emojis actually tell me what state of mood I was that day. And I realized, like, for at least a year and a half, I haven't really put down all the ones that are negative. It's like the most, it's on scale of 5. The one from 4 and 5 have given me actually the energy and the mood of being in a good mood, right? I mean, like I said, I have shit as well during the days that are happening to me, but I don't look at them like that. I don't realize anymore that they are taking me down. They're actually giving me something new to think about and to look forward to how I can solve them and take it as an opportunity. So that's the second one. It's building those habits. The third one is your boundaries. You know, when you have a focus, when you know exactly where you want to go, your focus is actually what you need to capitalize on as well. Because if you do the right focus on the things that you're doing, and I talked about this in the previous live, so if you want to look back at those, you can go on Spotify in on my account, which is the Your Next Me podcast, or you can go on YouTube as well. Dominique Stulens, Your Next Me, you'll find me there. I'll explain you actually how you can better focus. But focus is so crucial because if you're having too much time to do something and you're not clear on what it is that you have to do that day, then you probably will not be able to focus exactly in the right way. You will start to overthink, you will start to have overwhelm, and you will not be able to focus. And what does that do? It takes down your energy. So if you're putting your boundaries and you know exactly, I only have half an hour to do this, and I'm going to fully focus on that without being distracted, without having people to come and talk to me, with putting my phone aside, and you will see that by doing that half an hour, that focus, it gives you the energy for doing the next thing in your day. So boundaries is really important. Recovery. Don't forget that energy is also about recovery. Sleep well. Take the time to go into nature. I'm trying to go out every day to walk, even if it's only 10 minutes, that's fine. As long as you're moving, as long as you're breathing, as long as you're doing something to rest your mind, to rest your body. So, like I said, I'm taking a nap when it's needed. I go outside when I can. I give myself a little bit of time to just in the morning to meditate 2 or 3 minutes. Doesn't need to be very much more, but just recover. All right. Take the time to think what you need and write down and try it. And then the fifth one is your intention. If you don't know what your intention is in the day, you will not be able to move to that intention. So you're probably going to waste your time in thinking and doing things that might not bring you closer to your goals. And it's draining your energy as well. So put down the 3 things that are the most important for you in that day that will give you the right intention, the right actions, then again, the productivity to get you to your results. And that is going to uplift your energy. All right. And what I do sometimes as well, and this is not based on those 5, but it's in one of them, which is, making sure that you're having some habits and maybe recovering in a way, because recovering doesn't always need to be sleep. Recovering for me can also be to move around. So sometimes I'm setting the music really loud and I start dancing and I'm starting to be crazy. And, sometimes my kids look at me and they're saying, Mom, what are you doing? But when they're not at home, I just go and do it and I don't care about anything and anybody. And sometimes I'm even filming myself and putting it onto social media because I, I think it might inspire other people. But yeah, what is it that you can do to get your energy high? And if that is something that can help you, do it every day. Give yourself a chance to do this every day because it's going to give you that consistency. And you know what? Consistency, energy is helping you to build your growth in your business and it's going to give you better results. So I hear a lot of coaches as well talking about when you have the right energy, you attract people because of your energy. And I totally agree with that. Every coach should actually talk about this because when you have the right energy, people don't always buy your service because of the content of what you give, but because of you, because of the service and the energy that you have. And it doesn't matter in what type of job that it is. You don't have to be a coach to be doing this. But even if you are an employee, it's the same thing. Your energy is going to be a lot. People will work a lot better with you and are willing to work with you because of your energy. So think about that. So when I'm talking about growth results, it has to do with your energy. Your energy is your asset number one. It's what is the most important thing, because without that, honestly, you will not get the results that you want. So I'm here for you. I can coach you in this together with everything else, obviously, because I'm working with the butterfly principle and I have 5 elements in the butterfly principle. And the middle one, it's the heart, the big heart of the butterfly. That is the empathy and your energy. It's what you can bring and what you need to be able to move on to the next step. The first one was mindset. The second one was your goals and your 10x actions. And the third one of the butterfly principle is your energy and your empathy, self empathy. The other two will be for next time. You can find me on social media, obviously, but you can also DM me, and then I will be able to look at what you need, what it is that you can use in your daily life to grow your business, but also to grow personally. I love to do that. I'm here to inspire you, and I hope that this one has inspired you as well. Have a very great day and certainly a very good week. See you next Monday. Bye.